We're on the road with Mickey, we're gonna have some fun. Regardless of the rain or sun, our trip has just begun. So buckle up, let's go, we're about to start the show. And maybe if you like us, you'll see where else we'll go.
Hey everyone, I'm Mike, and she's Sophie,
And she's Brenda.
Hi, everyone.
and he's Grogu. And Grogu would like to say, before we even get started, first, we're on the road with Mickey, but
Mm,
Grogu would like to say, Happy birthday to our friends from Billy's Closet of Magic.
Yay.
happy birthday, you
Happy
guys.
birthday.
The group that is Billy's Closet of Magic on Facebook, you can go search for it and find it. They are 3 years old today on our recording day. So it's a little confusing, but it makes sense in my twisted mind. So there you
It
go.
makes perfect sense. He is celebrating his best friend Billy.
That's
Yes,
right.
he sure is. And we also want to say happy birthday to the Magic Kingdom
Yay.
and
Mm-hmm.
Epcot. So the Magic Kingdom is how old now? 52 years?
Yeah.
Yep,
And
that's just about.
Epcot is 41 years.
Yes.
That's right.
So, way to go,
Happy
guys. Happy
birthday.
birthday
Thank
to
you
those
for the
great
magic.
parks. Yes.
Yes.
So, anyway, now that all that is out of the way, it is time to continue on and really get into our show. This is episode 188 for October 2nd, 2023. And our feature topic this week is our top 5 Disney songs. And
Mm-hmm.
I've made a decision. It's going to be our top 50 songs
Yeah,
just because there's so many.
there are.
So, but maybe we'll stick with 5. I don't know. I don't have but 5 songs written down. So probably we should stick with 5, don't you
We
think?
should probably stick with 5. I was having such a hard time trying to decide, and if you give me one more slot, I'm going to be here all day trying to figure out what it is.
Okay, then it's top 5 still. Never mind.
Yes.
Title did not change. Um, but first we have some cheddar from the big cheese, and I'm going to start us off, and it is very appropriate cheddar, I think. Um, November 27th, 2013, Brenda.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
10 years ago this year,
Hmm.
Frozen was released in theaters.
Golly, that ages us, doesn't it?
Doesn't it though? And I'm going to give a little mea culpa to Sophie because I know that we took her to see it way too much,
Yes, you did.
but
9
it's a
times in the theaters alone.
but it's a great movie and
Yes, it
great
is.
music.
Yes,
And
it is.
Disney is going to commemorate that anniversary with 10 weeks of surprises. I have no idea what those surprises are,
I don't either.
but one surprise, I guess I know one surprise that I didn't know, is that last year Idina Menzel, who is Elsa, Kristen
Mm-hmm.
Bell, who's Anna, Jonathan Groff, who's Kristoff, and Josh Gad, who's Olaf, were all honored as Disney Legends in 2022 for their work on the films.
Nice.
I didn't
Wow.
know that. I had no idea. And I went
Nice.
and looked at that year, and there's like 10, 15 people that were made legends last year, but those 4 are very special when it comes to Frozen, of course.
For
So
sure.
anyway,
Amazing.
congratulations.
Yes.
Congratulations to those legends. And I'm just Frozen is just it's got a good place in my heart. So
Me too. And see this the sing along people at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Don't miss it. Don't miss it, Sophie.
don't miss it. She
Hmm.
saw it. She says, I've
It's
been there,
really
done that.
good.
Don't need to see it again.
It's
Really
good
good.
for air conditioning, I'll give it that.
It's good for snow coming down in the form of bubbles.
It's good for everything.
It's good for what
What
ails you.
Whatever you guys say, what ails me is listening to Let It Go one more time, especially out of this old toad's mouth.
Am I the old toad?
Yes, you are, because we all
Nice.
know Aunt Brenda has a lovely singing voice.
Let it go. Ribbit,
Stop
ribbit,
it. I
ribbit.
believe you. I will mute you. Don't think I won't.
You gotta kiss a lot of frogs.
Yep.
I'm
Okay,
not.
Sophie, you're next.
Mm,
I'm gonna move
yes,
on.
definitely. And unfortunately, I would rather be talking about this sad news than listening to my dad sing Let It Go one more time. Unfortunately, as many of us know, many of us Harry Potter fans, the actor who played Professor Dumbledore, known as Sir Michael Gambon, passed away at the age of 82 recently. Well, also recently, a bunch of Harry Potter fans lined up at the Universal Orlando Resort to pay tribute to him. They had a special wand raising ceremony at Hogwarts Castle. And for those of you who are not Potterheads, the wand raising ceremony is used to commemorate a death. It is where wizards will rise up their wands and they will act sort of like a candlelight processional, a candlelight visual for their fallen friend. This was done last year as well to commemorate Robbie Coltrane, also known as Hagrid, who passed away last year. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, all of you.
Yeah. Thank you, Sophie.
Yeah.
Of course.
All right, Brenda, you got a little bit of cheddar?
A little bit of cheddar. Epcot this week, they opened up the new Moana Journey of Water attraction to annual pass holders, and the lines were massive. So they quickly realized they were going to have to put in place a virtual queue for people to be able to go and see the attraction. So if you're getting ready to go soon, anytime after October 16th to general public, be prepared. It's going to be busy.
Isn't that crazy? I mean, I get it's visually stunning. My friend Pam, who has been on the podcast, and she lives in North Carolina, like we do. She saw it from the monorail and heard part of the show. Her DVC preview was for after they were leaving, but she said it was phenomenal looking. And
Oh,
I get
yeah.
all that. I mean, it's visually stunning,
Yes, it
but it
is.
just surprises me that it's that busy for a walkthrough attraction.
I know. There's no ride. There's no, I don't know. I think it would have been neat if there was a ride, at
To
the
be
end or
frank,
something.
maybe. To be frank, I think the reason why it was so busy is just because Epcot has been under a lot of construction for years at this point.
That's for sure.
And besides Cosmic Rewind, not much new stuff has been added, really, especially in Future World.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that a lot of these people are just really excited to see what's new, and they're hoping that this will be sort of the first of many things to be quickly released in Epcot, just so that they can go back to having that complete Epcot experience. I
I
think
think you're
that's a
right.
lot of what's going on, and I'm sure that once everybody has gotten through their ooh, new shiny pretty thing, it's going to be it's going to die down very quickly. I don't think it's going to be a virtual queue for nearly as long as, say, Ratatouille or Tron or Rise of the Resistance. I don't think that's going to be the case.
Probably
I
not.
expect it will probably be finished with the virtual queues in no later than January of next year.
Interesting. Let's see if that prediction holds out. And I think
Let's
you're right,
see.
Sophie. I
Mhm.
think that's it a lot is the fact that there's been so much construction and so little
Especially
new
since,
stuff to do at
yeah,
in what used to be Future World. Yeah.
yeah, especially since it's also a water feature. Like you will get wet when you go in there, and we're getting into the colder months. So I imagine people are going to either be taking the non-water feature route, or they are just going to be like, okay, we did it. Now I'm freezing cold. Let's go warm up somewhere. That's probably
Exactly.
what's going to happen.
I think the main problem when it opens to the public is going to be the Moana meet and greet that opens with it, though, because children
Oh.
want to meet Moana. And
Oh
if you
yeah.
don't do that first thing when you go into Animal Kingdom right now, you can forget it. So that's going to be a very, very
Now,
busy
that's not
area.
something I knew about. You're right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we shall see. I'll report when I get back in December
Absolutely.
how it is.
Good. When we get boots on the ground with
Boots on the ground.
Brenda and
Yep.
Butch, boots on the ground.
Yeah, and I'm also there the week that the new fireworks show at Epcot starts. So I'll be seeing that as well. I'm
Ooh.
really worried about the crowd for that.
I
But
would
we
be
shall
too.
see.
A word of advice for you. I actually find that the best place to view the fireworks is over where that train station area is in Germany. That was one of the best places to watch Harmonious. It gave you a great view, so I can only
Yeah,
imagine that the fireworks will be even better from over there.
that's right. I might have to get some caramel right before it starts.
Mm-hmm.
Might? How about will? We'll have to.
Yeah, we'll have to for sure.
All right then.
All
Well, that's
right.
that.
Well, that's good cheddar. We have time for our top 5 Disney songs. It's time for our featured topic. And I've said this before, but one of the things I absolutely love about Disney is the music. And so in this week's featured topic, we are going to try and share with you what our top 5 Disney songs are and maybe give a little brief reason as to why. So, what are your favorite Disney songs? Let us know, and we'll share those answers with you next week. I'm going to post right after we finish. I'm going to post in the Facebook group, the On the Road with Mickey group, and see what kind of responses we get. So, this week it's my turn to start first. So,
All right.
I am excited. And I went, it surprised myself by going all movies this time. I thought I was going to have some from the parks. I really did. But it didn't happen that way. And the first one on my list is from the movie Aladdin.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Surprised, huh, Soph?
A little?
Well, I'm a romantic. So when it comes to romantic songs, A Whole New World from Aladdin is right up there. I mean, the scene in the movie, he takes her on the magic carpet. They go all over the world. He sings to her, and you just start to see that romance blossoming. It's really, really kind of neat.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
that's a
it's a
really good
great
song.
song, and of course it's immortalized in Mickey's PhilharMagic, and it's a great segment in there too. But A
Beautiful.
Whole New World from Aladdin is number 5 on my list.
As
Very
it should
good.
be.
So that's kind of what I was thinking, talking about why and what it is and everything like that. So this might be quicker than I thought. I don't
All
know.
right.
Oh, I
That's
plan
a
on
good
making
choice.
sure it's not quick, Daddy. I've got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Okay.
All right then. Well, in how do I put this right? The same way that you're doing, I'm going from number 5 to number 1, even though it's listed 1 through 5 and not 5 through 1. So we're going to start at the bottom of my list,
Oh, okay.
and I will be frank here. Yes, I'll be frank.
Okay, Frank.
I was waiting for you to say that. My list is prone to changing. It's
Oh
prone
yeah.
to changing a lot. I imagine when I come back to this tomorrow, I will be like, now why on earth did I put that when there's another good song right here? What was I thinking?
It's so hard to narrow down to 5, and your mood is affected. I mean,
Exactly.
everything affects it.
Absolutely, it does.
Yep.
But while we're at it, uh, I'm going to talk about the thing that brought on this episode. So there is a podcast that my dad and I listen
I
to.
forgot to mention that.
Yes, and what they'll do is they will welcome on guest speakers to their show every week or every month or so, actually, because they don't release weekly like us. But
No.
these will be famous people. Like they have they had a bunch of different people. The one that comes to mind is Love, who actually made the music for the new Pixar movie Elemental. He was the one who made one of the songs there, and so he was talking about his favorite songs from Disney. And so my dad and I got to thinking, wouldn't it be cool if we, like, the three of us collectively chose songs and we got to be on the show for one of their episodes? Obviously that didn't happen, but
Has not happened.
we were scouring our brains coming up with a good song for each of us because we were like, these people get to choose four. We are going to choose only one, and then we're going to have a fourth one. So our three songs, and then a fourth one collectively that we pitch to these guys. And so the song that I came up with was Dig a Little Deeper from Princess and the Frog. I quite like that song. I quite like it a lot. It is just, it gives soul music energy. That's what it gives. And of course, it is talking about that which is most important in life, which is, of course, finding a partner. For most of us, that's very important. And for me, that's very important. And of course, I
Mm-hmm.
changed my mind about this because I was like, do I really need a partner though? I could go with another song from the same movie, that being Almost There, to talk about my student debt that I'm working to pay off. I'm almost there, by the way. Yay, me!
Yay!
Yeah, you.
But I decided dig a, li- dig a little deeper is what I'm going to choose for my list instead, and that is going to be my number 5 because, again, my list changes all
Yeah.
the time. But if
Yeah.
I had to choose one that just felt right, it would be Dig a Little Deeper. It would be
Very
Dig a Little
good.
Deeper.
That's a good
Good
song.
choice and
Thank
good
you.
explanation.
Yep.
All right. Well, Brenda, you're up.
Okay, well, I didn't have much time to prepare for this episode. I'm so sorry. I was out of town for a couple of days. I just started adding notes to my phone as they came to my mind, and that is the way my list is. It's not narrowing down to the top one or anything. It's just 5 songs.
Yep.
5 songs that I love. So I'm just going to look at my phone and go down my list. So the first one is You'll Be in My Heart. It's a song by English drummer and singer, of course, Phil Collins, from the 1999 Disney animated feature Tarzan. I've been a long-time fan of Phil Collins. He has made a lot of songs for Disney movies. And his voice, the song is just
I'm
Why are you
sorry.
laughing at me?
Because Sophie had him on her list.
It's fine. Like I said,
Sophie and I think alike.
my
I'm
list can
sorry.
change. It's
I'm
fine.
sorry. That is so rude of me for laughing at Brenda while
It
she's
is
trying to
quite rude
tell
of
why
you.
it means so much to her. I'm
It is
sorry,
quite rude
I
of
Brenda.
you,
just think
Daddy.
it's a beautiful song,
It is
and unlike the
awesome.
song that I chose for the contest that Sophie was talking about, I did not put that song in this list for many reasons, especially right now. But this song, same sentiment for me, and that's all I'm going to say.
Well, there you go, Aunt Brenda. See, here's the thing about my list. I have been collecting sing-along versions for a lot of these songs. So the fact that Aunt Brenda had one of my songs means I can give her the sing-along version, and y'all can look in the show notes and go
Oh,
find all these sing-along versions so you
oh,
can
that's
sing our
fun.
favorite songs. So there you are.
That's
There you
fun. Thank
go.
you.
You're
Yeah.
I
welcome.
wonder if you'll have any more. I don't think so. I know the
I
last one you definitely won't have. Nobody's going to have my last one. I know.
My songs are listed right there. You can
Oh,
look at them while my dad is spewing off
oh,
his favorite
awesome.
songs.
Spewing off. That's what I do.
What are you spewing off, Mike?
Well, number 4 is Touch the Sky
Have any of those?
from
Ooh.
the movie Brave. And that is up there on my list because it shows, Merida's my favorite princess. We've covered that
Yeah.
before. And
Mhm.
this song just shows her grit, her determination, her willingness, and her
Bravery.
her bravery. There you go. Her bravery and her get up and go and let's go do it and let's knock this out. She is reaching for the stars or for the sky in this case. And she is going to make the world her own. And that's such a cool thing because she's basically just saying, look, we're making our own path and this is what we're going to do and I'm going to make sure it happens. And so she reaches out and she goes out and grabs it. She grabs the bull by the horns, you
Yes,
know?
she does.
So
Very good.
that's why I love that song.
That's a good song.
So Touch the Sky from the movie Brave.
That's a good one, Daddy.
Very good. And I did check your list just now, Sophie, and we don't have any of the other ones in common.
Good.
Surprisingly. Surprisingly.
Well, goodness gracious. I would hope not, because this next song on my list is one that I don't think a lot of people know about. Well, they might know about it just based off of how many views this current this YouTube video has. And the reason that I say this one might be a little bit on the down low is because this is actually a song that did not make it into any of the movies.
Oh, that happens a lot.
All right, so I'm going to set the scene for you all. It is the
Okay.
early 2000s when Disney was really churning out some of my favorite movies. And we are on the production scene of a new film. It's kind of Prince and the Pauper-esque, but with a little Mesoamerican flair, and it is called Kingdom of the Sun. So,
Really?
yes, Daddy, I don't think you would know this. Aunt Brenda, she seems like a history nerd like me, so I'm sure she might be able to figure it out. But
Probably not.
this movie was completely scrapped halfway through production, and it became something else. I'm going to give you three guesses to guess what movie this became. And no, you are not allowed to look at the Google Doc for it, Daddy, so don't even think about it.
Too late. I already did, but I won't.
I already compared
guess.
mine, so I know what it is. Because I went and made sure that none of yours were mine, so now I know.
I think the movie is The Lion King.
No, that was in the 90s.
Jungle Book.
Nope.
101 Dalmatians.
No.
Okay, you better tell me then.
Okay.
Even though I know, but still, go on.
So for those of you who don't know, after the entire plot of the movie was scrapped, it was completely redone into a beloved cult classic called The Emperor's New Groove. The movie was originally going to be a classic movie. It was going to have songs, it was going to be a musical, there was going to be a big bad villain who still managed to make it into the different movie that we ended up with, and her name was Yzma. Is Yzma, in fact. And the song that I have for my number 4 is her villain song. For those of you who like the villains, you know just how awesome their music is. Poor unfortunate souls, be prepared. All of the villain songs are great, and Yzma did not get one in the final movie, but she got one in the prototype. And that song is called Snuff Out the Light. Which makes sense because it's called the Kingdom of the Sun, and obviously the villain is not going to like the sun.
Yeah.
So snuff out the light, claim your right to a world of darkness. It was one of the best villain songs I think we could have gotten. I wish we had it, and we do have it, but I wish we had a movie to go with it.
Yeah.
Well,
it's
maybe because of the subject is why they didn't put it in the movie. Maybe.
What do you mean?
About embracing darkness and snuffing out the light and villains winning and so forth.
I have heard far worse villain songs than that, Daddy. Far more evil. We have a
Okay.
villain song about a brother going to massacre a king and his child.
That's not very nice.
Scar, Lion King.
Yeah. He doesn't quite say it that way, though.
He totally does.
Anyway, maybe he does. I don't know.
I'm sticking to the light.
I am too.
Suit yourselves.
Good choice, though, Sophie. I like the
Oh my
backstory
gosh.
a lot. I had
Mhm.
no
Yeah, I do
idea about the
too.
Kingdom of the Sun.
Snuff out the light. That's Sophie's number 4, and it's hilarious to me because my number 2 is coming up. And guess what it is?
Don't tell me it's from The Emperor's New Groove.
Nope. It's I See the Light from Tangled.
Oh.
It is I See the Light. It's a song written by composer Alan Menken and lyricist Glenn Slater for Walt Disney Animation Studios' 50th animated feature film, The Tangled movie, which I love. This
Nice.
duet, originally recorded by American recording artist and actress Mandy Moore and American actor Zachary Levy, or Zachary Levy, in their respective film roles as the main characters of Rapunzel and Flynn Rider.
I love
Is it
that song.
last I see? It's beautiful, and I
I
think
love that
hilarious,
song.
she had Snuff Out the Light, and I had I See the Light at the same time. That's what.
Oh, goodness.
That's awesome.
That's funny.
That's
You have,
awesome.
you have to appreciate that.
Uh-huh. And just FYI, I'm going to go back just a little bit and say that A Whole New World was also performed by and written by Alan Menken. And Touch the Sky was performed and written by Julie Fowlis, Fowlis. And she
Nice.
did a couple other songs in Brave that are really good too. So you might want to check her out.
Yay.
But that's awesome though.
That's
That is,
funny.
I
That
See
is
the
pretty
Light
awesome.
is really I love that song. Love
Yeah,
that
I
song.
do too.
Whew, it could have been on my list.
Yeah, that's the thing about all these songs.
They all could have been on our list.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, except maybe
So
mine.
number 3, and this is where it gets really hard, is getting from 3 to 2 to 1 for me.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm gonna keep the ranking I've got. Number 3 is the song I chose for the Be Our Guest podcast that Sophie mentioned before.
Mm-hmm.
And that is What Else Can I Do from the
Ooh.
movie Encanto. Performed by Diane Guerrero and Stephanie Beatriz. Diane Guerrero plays Isabella, and Stephanie Beatriz is Mirabelle. And I love the song because what it does is it shows how these sisters who are always at each other's throats, not
Yeah.
figuratively, but not literally, but figuratively,
Right.
how they come back together and how they really get this connection, and
Yeah.
that's what I really love about that is how they kind of just they play off each other. One's trying to apologize and the other one's like, oh my gosh, look what, now I'm able to do this. And it just really, to me, it's just an awesome song because in the end they come together and they have the kind of sister relationship that is just really cool.
Beautiful.
So,
Yeah.
So, and
That's a great choice.
Encanto has so many great songs. Oh my
That's
gosh.
true.
It
That's true.
does.
So many great songs. And that one is number 3 on my list. So
Awesome. That's a great choice, Mike.
That's a very great choice.
thank you. Thank you.
All right.
All
Now on
right,
to Sophie's number
Sophie.
3.
We're at the middle section. We're at the crossroads here, people. And
Mhm.
goodness gracious, I am being a little bit particular because, again, while technically the last one was from a movie, it was just from a movie that never got made.
Uh-huh.
This one is technically from a movie, but it's not part of a movie either. And this is because this is a Broadway musical song.
Oh.
For anyone who knows me, I love the theater. I love Broadway. I love musicals. I love acting. And the beauty about Disney is that they've released a lot of their movies as Broadway musicals over the years. And this one is Friend Like Me from Aladdin, the Broadway musical. And when I tell you that this version of the genie just elevates what Robin Williams did. Nobody can replace Robin Williams. He did not try.
Mm-mm.
He pulled out all the stops and he somehow managed to be a little bit better, in my opinion, just because he was also on Broadway. And so this version of Friend Like Me, it lasts a good 7 minutes.
Wow.
That
Yes.
is long.
It is long, but it's thrilling. It is very, very fun.
It's
He
worth clicking the link, huh?
It is. And I
Okay.
wish there was a version of it where you could actually see the choreography that he does, but I wasn't able to find it. So you're going to have to use your imagination. But when I tell you, it is very easy to use your imagination because there is a lot packed into this 7 minutes. It is great. It is awesome. And I wish I could go see it, but unfortunately, it's not on Broadway anymore that I know of.
That's a great
Oh.
choice, though.
Yeah. And you know what's really neat? And it's neat that you found a version that's not the Robin Williams version from the
Mhm.
original Aladdin,
And of
because
course, there's
tell
the
you
Will
that,
Smith version too,
yeah,
but
which
Yeah.
is really good too. But I didn't think anyone could ever do the genie as well as Robin Williams did, and the song from that original movie. Oh my gosh!
yeah,
To say that there's a
Yeah.
version that you like better that's high praise. It
I
really is.
know.
Yeah.
So good
We love
choice.
That
Robin
is a great
Williams.
choice.
We love Robin Williams, and I
Yes.
love the genie. And
Yeah.
the beauty of the genie is the way to pull off the genie well. After Robin Williams, the way to pull off the genie is to not try and imitate Robin Williams.
That's the thing.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
Obsess with
Exactly.
perfection, make your own version and make it as good as you can. And
Yeah.
that's what the genies excel at.
Yeah.
I have to wonder. I've gone on all the Disney ships, and both on the Fantasy and the Wish, they they're they have Broadway style shows, and
Mhm.
both of those ships have Aladdin. And I have to wonder if what version of that song was in those, because I can't remember now. I don't remember, but
Ooh,
I'm wondering if they used the Broadway musical version since it's a Broadway style production
Mhm.
or not.
they may have. And actually, I'm
I'm
just
just
doing a
curious to
quick
know now.
Google search. It's still on Broadway.
Those
Okay.
I
shows
was
are not.
mistaken.
I'm sure that Broadway musicals are longer than the shows on the ships, but I'm
Yeah.
just wondering what version of that particular song was used.
Yeah.
But no, they've got a version of it playing tonight
Oh wow!
in New
You need to
York,
fly to
of
New York.
course, at 8 p.m. So, Daddy, I'm gonna book my ticket and then I will see you tomorrow when I fly back.
See you on the flip side. Yeah.
See you on the flip side.
Or maybe I should find another day to go. But no, they've
Maybe.
got tons of showings.
Oh well, that's great because people listening can, if they're near, especially if they're in that area, they might want to
Yep.
check it out.
Oh, goodness.
Never know.
New Amsterdam Theater.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very
All
good to
right,
know.
Brenda, what's number 3 on your list?
I'm scrolling down my notes right now, and third on my list. Oh, well, When You Wish Upon a Star.
Ooh. Good one. Good one.
That's like the Disney song. That's like,
That
even though it's
is.
from Pinocchio, that has
Mhm.
been used for so many things like commercials, shows, fireworks show. I mean, it's like the Disney song. So of course, When You
Yeah.
Wish Upon a Star would be one of mine. So it is.
I think you should sing
And
it, Brenda.
uh-huh. And it's also received an Oscar, so it's a uber popular one.
No, it's fairly
It's
good.
well known.
It's fairly good.
Oh, goodness
Well known.
gracious. You know what? When
What?
You Wish Upon a Star, until I thought about it, I had no idea that Pinocchio was the second Disney film. I could have sworn that it was made sometime later, but no. No, it was the second one after Snow White, so it's only fitting that When You Wish Upon a Star would be from Pinocchio because that's, as Brenda said, that's the song. So it makes total sense that it would have been around since the company's, well, really birth, because Snow White was the labor and delivery, but Pinocchio was the first one that Disney made as a company, not
Well, and
just
it's
a
the
ride
dreamy
or die.
film. I
It
mean,
is.
the lyrics in that song are so they never
Sorry.
age. They're true always. They're always true. It
Yeah.
makes no difference who you are. You can make your I mean, I guess, living in America, make your dreams come true. Just have to
Mhm.
work hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful song though.
Yep.
Um, is it my turn?
Yes.
Okay. Well, number 2. We're getting down to the nitty gritty, and I need to take a sip. Sorry,
That's fine, Daddy.
got a little frog in my throat, and I'm not talking about Princess and
Toad.
the Frog. Yeah, it's my toad time.
Mr. Toad's Wild Ride indeed.
Yes, indeed.
Well, let's
So,
go.
number 2 on my list is a song that you all know that I like a lot.
There are a lot
I
of
have
songs that you like a
I have
lot.
talked about this many times, sometimes as a joke, sometimes not. I even mentioned it last week. Any idea?
Is it Maui's song?
No. No, but that's
Because we
another good.
often joke his, you're welcome.
That's a great song.
I think we don't talk about Cindy. No,
Yes.
no.
Except we don't talk about Bruno, except
Uh-huh.
last week we did talk about Bruno.
Well,
Yeah.
we did.
So I have back-to-back Encanto songs. And, I really like We Don't Talk About Bruno because it's fun. It's got a lot of good flow to it. But what's
Yeah.
neat is I heard an interview, and I can't remember the style, but there's some sort of musical style that Lin-Manuel Miranda said that song was done in, where it's like all the different people are singing a different part of the song, and it brings it all together in the way that it's performed. And it is absolutely fantastic. And if you really sit down and listen to it, you can hear all the different places where people are singing different parts of different lines. And it's to pull that off is just phenomenal to me.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. I am not talented musically at all. So
You know what, Daddy?
that's number 2 on my list because of that.
Very
know?
original. Yeah.
I know which one it is. I know which one you're trying to think. I'm trying to think of the
The style, you mean?
yes. I know that the song was, I believe, a tango type style, but I also heard somewhere that there's a version, a definition of music also known as a madrigal.
Oh, that's it. You're right. It is. Because I sent you I remember finding it, and that's the madrigal is the different way the music is written to make it all.
Yes, madrigal.
Crazy.
Definition: a part song for several voices, especially one of the Renaissance period, typically arranged in elaborate counterpoint and without instrumental accompaniment.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a great choice. Yeah, because it's a very unique song, that's for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's just so neat.
La Familia Madrigal, and they sang a madrigal.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
They knew what they were
Great
doing.
choice. Yeah, they do.
I think they sure did know what they were doing.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Lin-Manuel Miranda is a musical genius.
Yeah, he is.
Mm-hmm.
Very much so.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Sophie. Number 2 on your list.
All right. So this is the part where Daddy was laughing at Aunt Brenda for. Rude on you. Shame on you.
Yeah.
So originally,
I already
my number
apologized.
2 song was You'll Be in My Heart from Tarzan. That was my original song. But because I love Aunt Brenda and because my list is always changing, I switched it up.
Mm-hmm.
And the song I went with instead, I've already talked about the artist who made it, that being Love. And the song that I'm talking about now is Steal the Show from Disney Pixar's Elemental. I loved Elemental. I loved it so, so, so much. That movie is like, I'm trying to decide. It's like the Titanic for me, being someone who was born after the Titanic was released. The movie, I mean. Like, we all know the Titanic is the movie that makes every girl from the 90s cry her heart out because it's so romantic and sad. That is Elemental for me. Because I was a 2000s girly, so I didn't have Titanic growing up, but I have Elemental now, and it tugs at my heartstrings. I love that movie so, so much, and the song in it, Steal the Show by Love for Elemental, that is basically the movie summarized.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. It
Yeah.
talks about the two singles coming together and finding a relationship that they didn't know either of them could have, especially with each other, but overall. And it's just nice to see them be happy together. And you can see it in their faces. They have this glow about them when they're together. And it's not just because one of them is literally made of fire.
Although that does help.
Yeah.
It helps to glow.
It's a feel good song. It's about romance.
It is a
I
good
love
song.
romance. It's nice.
That
Yeah.
is great. That's a great
Good
choice.
choice, Sophie.
Yeah.
Great choice.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Oh, well, my number 4 song is the only one that is not from a movie or a production of any kind, except that it is from an attraction.
Okay.
Oh,
It is from a very important attraction to all 3 of us.
Carousel
One
of
of
Progress.
That's right.
It's a
And that
great, big,
is
beautiful tomorrow.
That's right. There's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. It's the theme song to Walt Disney's Carousel of Progress in the Magic Kingdom. And of course, it was written by the Sherman brothers, who did so many songs for Walt Disney.
Mhm.
And it's just, there's just something about it.
Yeah.
It's Disney.
It's just,
Yeah.
it is quintessential.
Yep.
It's a great song. Golly.
I mean,
It's
Walt
a
Disney
great
came up
song.
with that attraction, and it's so much him to us. So
It
there you go.
is.
That's why it's on the list.
Good choice. Great
Very
choice.
good choice.
Not good choice. Great choice. Every single one of these songs that you guys have said are great choices.
That you've said too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Speaking of you, it's your turn.
Yeah.
And it is time for number 1, the numero uno, the piece de resistance, the top, and it probably will stay there
Ooh.
And I thought really long and hard about my Encanto songs that I shared as how they might be number one. Especially What Else Can I Do? I actually like that one a lot more than I like We Don't Talk About Bruno, although I love We Don't Talk About Bruno, you know? Um, but this one has stayed the test of time. And no, it is not Let It Go,
Good.
but it
The
is.
test of time.
It's not a Beauty and the Beast song.
How much
Oh,
time?
wait. It's still a Frozen song, isn't it?
It is a Frozen song.
I know which one it is. I know which one it is.
I know you do. It is Do You Want to Build a Snowman?
Aww.
I
That's so
absolutely
sweet.
love that movie. Love that song. Love all those songs, but that one touches at my heartstrings. And it does because when Anna is singing it, she starts out, they're little girls, they're so excited, they want to play, they want to build a snowman. Then things start to go south, and then she's getting shut out because she doesn't understand what's happening with Elsa. And Elsa is secluding herself, and she wants her to play. She wants her to be part of her life. And then her parents die, and it's just the two of them. And she's like, "Do you want to build snow? Do you want to go back to where we were when we had mom and dad?" And it always brings a tear. Always,
Yeah.
you know.
It's a great song.
It is such a powerful piece of music, and it is performed by Kristen Bell, Agatha Lee Mann, and Katie Lopez. And it's just a phenomenal song in my opinion. So
Great
it
song.
is number one on my list, and it probably will be number one on my list for a long time.
That's awesome.
So there you go.
Very good, Mike.
You
Your
know,
list is very impressive.
Thank you. My songs reach down into your heart. That's the ones that they reach down into your heart. So
yes. Yep.
well,
I'm wondering what Sophie's number one is, and if it reaches down into her heart, or what her connection is to it.
Yes, because obviously my songs have not been written in the show notes since the very beginning, since I needed to have them there, or else I would choose something completely different. But my number one is also very near and dear to my heart, and that is because of the movie that it is from. I've already stated this. I love 2000s movies from Disney. I love them so, so much. And one 2000s movie that did not get changed that much would be Lilo and Stitch. That movie is one of my favorites. I connect with Lilo on such an emotional and quintessential level because Lilo is a little girl and she is actually written. It is accurate. The way she's written is accurate to a child that has autism. Maybe mild autism, but still a child that is on the spectrum. And I was a child who was on the spectrum. I am still on the spectrum, but you wouldn't know that now. But the fact that Lilo is a child who was like me when I was that age, I feel for her so, so much. And I feel for Nani too, because Nani, her older sister, she is here trying to care for this girl that just needs more than what other child needs. And it reminds me of my mom. And Nani and Lilo, they have their rough edges with each other. They fight a lot. I fought with my mom a lot. But they also still love each other very, very much. And they want to stay together and be happy. And the song that I'm talking now is just one of those moments where they've had a rough day with each other. They're not quite sure how things are going to get better. And then this guy named David, he comes over, and David, he reminds me a lot of my dad too, because he and Nani are like that.
Yeah.
And David's like, you know what I think you guys need? I think The best cure for a sad face is a couple of boards and some choice waves. And so the song plays as they're swimming out into the ocean to go surfing together. And the song is called Hawaiian Roller Coaster Ride. And
It's
it
an
is just,
awesome song.
it
God, I
is
is
love
an
an
that
awesome
song.
awesome
song.
song.
Yep.
It is a very
Golly, it's
awesome
so good.
song. And it's just a carefree moment, a moment of joy in a very stressful situation. And even Stitch, the harbinger of chaos, the complete, well, we love Stitch, we do, but at this point in the film, he has just been causing all sorts of mess. Even he can get involved in it, or at least he tries. And it's just a very good song. It's a very good scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a very good song. You could sing that song all the time. That's a great song too to play if you're a person who, I know this sounds weird, but if you're a person who plays music when you're cleaning house,
Oh,
it's
certainly.
an it's just uplifting. It's just fun. It's a fun song.
Yeah.
Yep. I love that song. I sing it a lot myself.
Yeah. Great song.
That
Great,
is a great choice.
great
Yes.
list, Sophie. Great
Thank you.
list.
Yep.
And
Awesome.
Brenda, you're up.
Give us the closing word, Brenda.
Well, I knew no one else would have chosen this song, and I can't even explain my heart for this song, but it's kind of a it's just not expected, I guess. So,
It's speechless,
um,
is what it is.
yeah,
It
I
renders her speechless.
yes, because I have a particular affinity to powerful ballads, powerful, heartfelt, gut-wrenching ballads.
Mhm.
And this song is Evermore, and it was written for
Oh, I
Beauty and
know
the
which one
Beast.
that is.
Yes, and it is a song written by composer Alan Menken and lyricist Tim Rice for the musical fantasy film Beauty and the Beast, a live action remake of Disney's 1991 animated film of the same name, originally recorded by the actor Dan Stevens from the movie. And I love that version, I really do. But the version that is my absolute favorite is the one that Josh Groban sings, because Josh Groban to me is just the phenom, period. So the version I love is by Josh Groban of Evermore. And you know, there's a it's not a runner up, so I didn't do a runner up song, but there's another song from Beauty and the Beast that Josh Groban also sang, and it's called If I Can't Love Her. And it rips my heart out. And I just absolutely love those two beautiful renditions of those beautiful songs, Evermore and If I Can't Love Her. But they're just beautiful to me. They're
I
so
did not
true too.
know. I didn't know that Josh Groban performed a cover of this. My favorite cover from Josh Groban would be when he and Kelly Clarkson were singing the duet from Phantom of the Opera, All I Ask
Mm,
of You. You need
yeah,
to go watch that. You need to go listen to it right now. It
yeah,
is such a beautiful thing. If you're into power ballads like me,
yes. And these are just solos for him.
mm-hmm.
But Evermore is just so it just
Yeah.
is so beautiful.
I
Beautiful.
remember when Jagan watched the live action Beauty and the Beast, she was like, "Why on earth did they put a song in with the Beast? I liked it when he was roaring." And I'm like,
Oh,
"Jagan,
because he had
you
feelings. He was
uncultured
a
little
man.
girl."
Yeah.
Yeah, I literally called Jagan uncultured when she said that. Evermore was the best thing to come out of that
It
remake.
is so beautiful. And even if I can't love her, it's like I should have done things differently. I should have, he regretted so much
Yeah,
who he was. And
Hmm.
it's just beautiful.
it is
Just beautiful.
beautiful.
Wow.
So
Great
that's it.
song. Great choices, people.
Yeah.
Very great choices.
Now I want to hear from our listeners.
Yeah.
If you can, list your top 5. Golly, there's so many to choose from. And I almost feel like we should revisit later down the road and do, instead of a top 5 songs, like maybe top 5 movie albums or something.
Oh.
Because
Now
that
that would
might
be
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 even harder.
significantly easier for me because all of my songs can be grouped into movies. So you're basically telling me which movies do I like the best
yeah.
in terms of their music, and I could easily come up with that. And Kanto would be number one.
Yeah. But anyway, that's down the road. I'll give us time to forget, and then we'll maybe come back to that later.
Oh,
And
so we're doing
Kanto
it
will still
tomorrow?
be number one.
All right. Well, great feature topic, ladies. Thank you so much. I loved it. I enjoyed it. I'm going to watch every single one of these links. Thank you, Sophie, for popping those in for all of our
You're very
songs.
welcome. And now everybody else can go and watch these links.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Exactly. But that takes us to this day in Disney history for October 2nd. Sophie, what do you got?
A little bit of a confession time now. I had forgotten to put in some Disney history up until after we started recording. So if you went back to the very beginning of the show and you saw my screen go from dark-ish to suddenly overly bright, that's why, because the website where I get these from is black background with white text, and then I was switching over to a Google Doc with a white background and black text. Anyway, I got my history, so we're okay
Yay.
now.
Good.
And obviously, we were talking about how today is the birthday of the Magic Kingdom. It opened on October 1st, but this episode is releasing October 2nd. So I was like, can I just go back a day and maybe find something? But I found something better.
Oh, awesome.
There's something about Walt Disney World that did take place on October 2nd regarding its birthday, and that is the Liberty Square Riverboat. In 1971, the day after Magic Kingdom's grand debut, the Liberty Square Riverboat opens at Walt Disney World, with the Admiral Joe Fowler taking its first trip around the Magic Kingdom's River of America. The boat is named after Fowler, a retired U.S. Navy admiral who was responsible for overseeing the construction of both Disneyland and Walt Disney World. The Admiral Joe Fowler will carry Magic Kingdom guests for almost the next 10 years.
Nice.
Awesome. And you know what's really cool for people who may not know this is if you go on to the Liberty Bell now, it's the Liberty Bell,
Mm-hmm.
and you go and ride on the riverboat, you can ask a cast member and they will, or at least they used to be, let you go up to where the captain is who drives the riverboat, and you can go up there and talk with them and get pictures and stuff like that. I don't know if they still do it, but Sophie and I did that once.
That's neat.
And
Yep,
it was really neat. And so we
it
were
was
up in the
quite
very
neat.
top. We were at the very top because there's like a steps up to go to where they were. So it was kind of neat.
Yeah,
So check that out. If you have little ones that are really into that sort of stuff, that might be something that might be a neat treat for them to experience.
That's
So
great.
great,
Thank you, Sophie.
great history, Sophie. Thank you so much.
thank you. Now then,
Uh-huh. Dun, dun, dun.
get round to
Dump
brass tacks,
so.
everybody.
It's in the brass tacks. Yep.
I almost called it Tass Brax. I don't know what's wrong with me today.
Well, this character lives in an orphanage.
An orphanage? Wait, is it from Meet the Robinsons? Of course, he's not saying.
No, I'm not saying.
It's either
This
Lewis or Goob.
This character is interested in baseball.
Goob. Michael Yagubian.
Mike Yagubian, yep.
Oh,
Goodness gracious. 2 hints, people. It took 1.5 actually.
yeah.
Great job, Sophie.
And he was so tired he missed making the game-winning catch because Lewis kept him up all night inventing a memory scanner. And that's what started. Goob is such a sad character, you know? But
Yes,
he
but
gets the
thankfully it
redemption
all
at the
gets
end.
fixed.
Yeah. Because,
Yeah.
he leads to
Goodness.
him being a bowler hat guy and everything like that.
And then due to temporal time travel shenanigans, Lewis even realizes the mistake before it's about to be made, and he actually wakes up Goob right in time to catch that ball.
Yeah.
And then that just sets him on a whole new course, and it's so
Yeah.
nice.
But yes, your Who's Who character is Goob, Mike Goob Yagoobian from Meet the Robinsons.
That's awesome, Sophie. Goodness gracious.
Thank
Good
you.
Girl,
Good
this
job.
girl.
Good job.
Goodness. She just blows me away.
I could see on my dad's face that when I said, "Is it from Meet the Robinsons?" and he just kind of looked at me like,
Yeah, he wasn't going to tell you.
I wasn't sure if he was like happy or disappointed, and
I
I feel
was-
sad.
No, I wasn't disappointed. I didn't expect you to not get it.
He was amazed.
And I also wasn't going to give you any other answers. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stay silent.
The issue is that silence is deafening in times like that.
Well, it is what it is.
Yep.
Oh,
That's great. That's
All
great.
right. Well, that takes us to Brenda for a little bit of Walt.
Yes. And Walt loved music too. He loved music. He especially loved Feed the Birds from
yes.
Mary Poppins, and he had the
Mhm.
Sherman Brothers do that song a lot.
Yeah.
It kept him grounded or something. It made him feel better somehow.
Yeah.
But he said a good concert, if you're kind of relaxed, it can do something to you. It's sort of an emotional break you get by listening to music.
Walt
That's
Disney.
true. Yeah, it touches
That's
your
very
soul.
true. And you know what? Speaking of Feed the Birds, that was it wasn't on my top 5 here, but it would definitely be on my top 10. Let's Go
Yeah.
Fly a Kite would be on my top 10. But
Oh my
I
goodness.
remember hearing on I think it was on Sirius XM or something, a song that, and I think I shared it with you, Sophie, about it was the Sherman Brothers, and it was a song that morphed into, I think, Feed the Birds or something like that. But after Walt passed away, the Sherman Brothers, one of them, I think, I don't know if it was both of them, but one of them would go over to Walt's office before they converted it and switched and the new president got it. They would go over there and they would play that just to remember Walt a little bit,
That's sweet.
It's super sweet, and it's just it's the power of a song and the power of a man, and and how one person can change so many projections for so many people across this world,
Yeah.
And that's
Indeed.
why we do this show.
Yep.
That's the whole reason we do this show, is because we have such an affinity for what Walt Disney did and what was created out of that. So
That's right.
and that takes us, that is our conclusion for this week. But that takes us to next week. Next week is a very much an open-ended question, and I'm asking it to all the listeners as well. The question is, what keeps bringing us back to Disney?
Yeah.
There is a lot that goes into that question, and we're going to try and answer that. And God bless you, Brenda.
Thank you. God bless you.
But that is next week. So until then, I'm Mike. She's Sophie. That's Brenda. He's Grogu. And we hope you all have a great week. And we will
See
See
you
you
on the road.
road.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.